attributes. And what a few of those things are, we care about our reputation. We care what people think about us, like we should. Family and friends and peers. We want to be respected. So we've got to act in a respectful manner. And Jesus gave the key to that. Treat others the way you want to be treated. So in your business affairs, you've got to adhere to that same thing. And if you're not, if you're treating people in your business practice in a way that you don't want to be treated, you don't want to be on the receiving end, for example, of your business practices, but you don't care, right? Because you have clout, you have an advantage, right? Because it's your business, right? You're not the guy that's in the money lending business, are you? You're not the financial services guy, right? So you're left to their mercy, and you're very grateful. Well, thank you, Mr. Bankster, for helping me out. I was able to buy a house. Oh, gee, and I thought I wasn't going to be able to get on the bandwagon of home ownership. Thank you. You want to kiss the ground he walks on, right? And they know that. They know how valuable their asset is, their money, with no intrinsic value, just made up out of thin air. The country's in debt to over $20 trillion. They're telling us it's $980 billion. I just saw this on a news clip. I wished I had saved it so I could play it right now. This was on local news. I didn't hear it on the national news, but they're pulling up federal information. So we got a group of people that own all these mainstream media outlets. They're controlling the narrative. They make a mountain out of a molehill. Do you understand? In terms of news, what's sensational? They'll sensationalize a molehill. The public basically doesn't care about, but because it's like on all the channels, everybody's, whoa, this is a story of interest. I got to pay attention. Listen up. And then they'll take something that's really sensational, that inquiring minds really want to know about. That's a mountain of information. Cutting edge education, information are one and the same. Empowerment and education, knowledge and all that, and knowledge is power. So they want you disempowered. They want you dumbed down, stupid, discombobulated, ignorant, confused, in Babylon, basically. So basically, you got a bunch of individuals or corporations that own the few mainstream media companies out there, and they're colluding together against the best interests of the people at large. Do you understand? They don't care as long as it works to them in their favor, on their side of the ledger, let's say, right? So that's the way this system works. So while you say, well, hey, they're raising the cost for this or that, and people say, well, why should I care? These people have to pay that price. No, you understand? It works to their favor. That's what, if you've got shares in oil, let's say, and you see the price at the pump going up, you say that, well, that's great because that's money in my pocket. Even though you've got to pay more, you get way more back in dividends when the price of that commodity goes up. Do you see how that works? So if there's more money being printed and we're putting the country in debt, we're creating more and more multi-billionaires every day. We're creating more and more poverty at the same time, concurrently, simultaneously. Do you understand how this thing works? How you're being ripped off, how you're being tyrannized, and who the tyrants are? So it's the money printing class, and they've got the lapdogs of these senators and Congress people because they need them to validate, okay, illegitimately validate, by the way, because they're going against the will of the people, the only valid, legitimate government out there. 90% of the American people were against that bailout of '08. You get how this scam works? So they've got a critical mass, the amount needed to get the job done, to rubber stamp it, of people in positions of power in this world. Do you understand? So they can lie, cheat, steal, and murder at will. And that's what they did with Jeffrey Epstein. Too many important people knew what was going on. I don't know what Trump knew, but he was friends with this guy. He said, well, I broke off relations. Well, there could have been a lot more to come out. We know royalty has been implicated in this whole thing. And we know Slick Willie was close to Epstein. Okay, and this whole with the Harvey Weinstein thing. Okay, and Stein, this is a Jewish name, right? So the Jews, well, we know, the bat mitzvah, bar mitzvah at a very young age. And this is true for Muslims too, very young age sometimes. They think that the man is a man and a woman's a woman, right? So they celebrate it. I don't know. Depends on when the woman has her period, I guess. I'm not exactly sure. You have to look into it yourself. But it's somewhere around 12 or 13 or 14, right? the bat mitzvah, the bar mitzvah. So these guys, Weinstein, basically, he was a rapist, from what I understand, and he wasn't in jail. But Jeffrey Epstein, he was guilty. They said something about child trafficking. I guess because these women agreed to go, to different countries or other territories. I don't know how it all works. Okay, because this is not my forte, the offshore islands and all this kind of crap. I guess it was in the Virgin Islands somewhere, Epstein's place. Okay, but these women, I don't know if they, were taken forcibly. I don't think anybody was insinuating that with Epstein. So he was facing basically these statutory rape charges, right? Having sex with an underage person. That's what he was facing. So that's what he was incarcerated with. Relatively low-level charges. Okay, I guess they were felonious. He was already, it's not fun. I sure wouldn't. I'm not going to do it. I'm not, hey, no way. Maybe he thought because he had so much money, he got delusional. He thought he could get away with it. I don't want to get away with it, much less would I do it, even if I could. Just the chance that I'm going to get in trouble and go to jail. Not that I even think it's immoral. Okay, because that is definitely up for discussion right there. We all know 18 is an arbitrary. Now let's just make it 18. And then they can go and die in wars and all this. I think even younger, in some cases, they'll allow you to go die in war and all that. You can have babies, women, kids can have kids. 15-year-old. I got a friend from high school, and the gal got pregnant at 15, and they had a kid, and everything looked fine. They stayed married for a long time. I don't know. They might still be together, have a relationship. Kids are grown, of course. By now, they're probably in their 40s. They're children. So, but hey, these things happen, and I say Mother Nature is a much better judge than natural laws. I think, to decide these things about age and consent and all that. But nevertheless, okay, the laws are arbitrary, and when it comes to laws that are rigged, and we know this paying bail thing, okay, this is a big thing. And if you look at the term, if you study this thing, and you listen to guys like Jordan Maxwell, he'll explain to you this comes from ancient Baal worship, demon, idol worship, same kind of thing. Do you understand? It's anything but the true God. I don't want anything to do with that God, but I'll worship this one and I'll instruct other people. I'll mislead other people into believing this is the way to go. So they've gotten rid of bail, I think, in California now. I don't know if it's still in the process or what, but that's a big deal. So you can't bail out no matter how much. That's the way to go. No matter how much money you got, you can't bail out. But it's Baal. It came from the original B-A-A-L, the original spelling, paying bail, paying homage to Baal. Okay, that's where it came from. So if you've got enough money, you can get out of anything. So it goes to people's heads when they got all this money. Essentially, they think they're above the laws of the minions, the peons out there. Okay, so that explains how these things happen to the rich more, but it's happening to the poor too. But they can't afford to pay the bail and get out of jail. So they stay in jail. You understand? So the game is prima facie, it's rigged. If you can afford a really good attorney, you'll be okay. But I have no doubt that Epstein was murdered. No doubt at all. And this coroner's report, it's just a bunch of bull. And they know it. They know it. I mean, how hard would it be to break a guy's neck? How can they say automatically for sure they know it wasn't murder when there was nobody around? There wasn't even any cameras. Okay, I mean, you understand? It's absurd. They can have cameras. What do you think? You can't be naked in jail and get that on camera? That's not against the law. People are naked all the time. I mean, what do you think? The guards see this stuff. Even female guards are watching the men shower naked. I don't know how it works in the female prisons, if they've got any more privacy. But there's no reason in the world why they couldn't have had a camera in there. And if they have to show it to sensitive audiences, then they can blur out the images. If he's taking a dump, if he's on the toilet. Okay, so this whole idea they couldn't have had cameras running is a bunch of bull. Okay, and I don't think too many men worth $500 million facing relatively minor charges are intent on killing themselves. His reputation was already besmirched. He already had gotten in trouble for this thing with the young women. So it's a bunch of bull. It's all about money. Are they going against poor guys that don't have deep pockets for the statutory rape and suing them for millions of dollars? No, but we got this attorney, Red, whatever, the feminist lady, claims to be a feminist. So many of these women, but what do they do to educate the women that, hey, the women from the 60s and 70s claimed to be a lot more happy, okay, back then in that era, okay, they weren't under as much tyranny. We're being tyrannized. And the way they're doing it is financially. Okay, that's the way that's it. That's how they steal from you. Look at minimum wage. Okay, look at the establishment of minimum wage. Look at the history of it. There was a reason why we came up with a federal minimum wage. Do you understand? It's a branch to prevent any form of slavery again. So employers, masters, bosses were going to be under the microscope, right? That anybody that wasn't getting paid the federal minimum wage was subject to penalties. They were going to get in trouble with the law, right? You get how this thing works. And there was a reason. Then they said it. They didn't just pull a number out of the air arbitrarily, willy-nilly. No, they said this is a number that's going to afford a comfortable lifestyle where you can pay your bills. You can be a homeowner. You can realize the American dream. You can live a middle-class life. Your spouse could stay home. Everybody had dignity no matter what job you had, and that's the way it should be in America, especially in America, but of course all over the world. All jobs are important or they wouldn't exist. Okay, everybody's doing an important job out there. Minimum wage workers are doing important jobs. Idiots that don't think they are, that think you have a right to subjugate these people. You're evil. You're anti-egalitarian. You're ungodly is what you are. That's what you are. That's what, on Judgment Day, that's what God's going to tell you. You're an elitist. Who the hell are you? What's going to happen to the planet Earth if you fell off tomorrow? You think things are going to come to a grinding halt because you're so damned important? You know it's going to go on just about like it has for thousands of years. Everybody is equal. Everybody's equally important, equally beloved in the sight of God, and worthy of dignity and respect, honor. You understand? And if you don't believe that, you're evil. It's that simple. It's that cut and dry. I'm not mincing words here. I'm telling you the score. I'm spitting it out. So there was a time in America, Trump won't say, when he, in his mind, he's made this meme, this talking point, that oh, make America great again, MAGA, and all this crap. When was it great, Trump? What's going on in your head? Tell me what it was. And what were those indicators that made it great? Tell us. What's going on? Are you trying to deceive us? You think we're stupid? We're not stupid. The people of America are smart, and we're all starting to get it. Tell us when it was. What time in history was America great? And what made it great? I'm here to tell you it was great when you could afford to realize the American dream of home ownership on a minimum wage job. What happened to that? What happened to that? Make America great again. How are you going to do it? How are you going to reverse the wealth disparity? No, I'm not a socialist. I'm a capitalist. And I know the meaning of the words. So what are you going to do to reverse this trend? No, I don't believe in wealth redistribution. No, I don't believe in the Robin Hood theory. That's all theft. And socialism has never worked any time through history. The well-heeled, those that can comfortably afford to pay the bills of society, lawyer up. They find loopholes. They don't pay the bills. We all know that. Socialism doesn't work. It's that simple. No form that's ever come into existence. We got Bernie Sanders talking right here in Chico today at the Elks Lodge, or the Moose Lodge, or no, the Masons Lodge over here. Big Democrat socialist, thinks he's so intellectual. Is he trying to educate you? What's he telling you about socialism, how it's never worked? He thinks he's so smart. 15 an hour and all this crap. It's practically already that in California. Just like Obama promising 9 when he got into office. Did he come through with that? Poverty skyrocketed during Obama's reign of terror. Obama was a perfect puppet for the globalist cabal. These elitist, evil-doing scum sacks. This New World Order bunch. Those that would rather rule in hell than serve in heaven.